Hello chess friends, I am Aman and welcome back to Master Chess. Today I am going to show you a game played by the queen of chess, who is Judit Polgar. Many say that Judit Polgar is the best female chess player ever born, as she had defeated an international master at the age of 10 years and a grandmaster at the age of 11 years. She achieved her third GM norm at the age of 15 years 4 months, thus making her the youngest official GM ever at that point of time. Opposing her in this game is the former world champion Viswanathan Anand, and today we are going to see the game played at Dos Hermanas in Spain. So this is the first round of the tournament and let's start the game. Judit Polgar is playing with the white pieces and opens with 1 e4. c5 is played in the game and knight to f3. d6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes g4 and now knight to f6. Knight to c3 and a6 is played, transposing the game into the knight drop variation of the Sicilian defense. Bishop to e3, English attack, and e6, which converts the game into the Scandinavian variation. g4, the delayed Keres attack, and e5. Now the idea of e5 is to attack the knight and also attack the g4 pawn. Only one move can save that, and that is knight to f5, which was played in the game. g6, attacking the knight. Now the problem is that if we move this knight back to a square like g3, then knight takes g4 can come. The knight takes g4 can come, and then this bishop would be attacked and black would be a pawn up. Therefore, Polgar goes for the theoretical line with g5, and here she is attacking the black knight. Black captured the knight on f5 and e takes on f5. Already on move 10, guys, we have a knight sacrifice by Judit Polgar just for piece activity. d5 is played in the game. Anand says that no, I won't want to save my knight. I want to go for the move d4 if you take my knight. Now the problem with saving the knight is that you have only 2 squares to save the knight. Let us consider both the options. First option, that the knight goes back to g8. And now this is a very passive approach, as here all of white's pieces are on the last rank and black can continue with queen to f3. This pawn is protected, the center is controlled, and white is completely better because the activity of white's pieces are much more, even when black has an extra knight. And the second option is that if white moves his knight back, knight f to d7, this is going to be a huge blunder. After queen to h5, the game is already over. Black has to sacrifice material to save the mate, because bishop c4 and takes is coming. If you play a move like b5 to stop bishop b4, then bishop g2 and the game's all over. Therefore, after the move d4 in the game, Anand didn't save the knight and Judit Polgar went for queen to f3. Here d4 was played, attacking both the pieces, and now just long castles. Black can't touch any of the pieces because the pawn is pinned to the queen. Knight b to d7 is played, and now bishop to d2. Here bishop takes e4 could also have been a possible option, but in the game bishop to d2 was played. And now d takes on c3, bishop takes on c3. Here white has established all his pieces on good squares, and they are eyeing down the king side whenever black chooses to castle, and as you can see, the knight is still hanging, but neither Anand is moving it nor Polgar is taking it. Bishop to g7 by Anand, rook to g1, and now safety first set by Anand, short castles. Here only on move 16, Judit Polgar captures the knight. This knight, guys, is hanging for the past 6 moves, but only on move 16 does Judit Polgar capture it. G captures on f6. Queen captures on f6, we see, and now queen to e3. Maybe white has a huge threat of rook captures on d7, bishop captures on d7, and pause the video and think the move for white. Yes, you are correct. This was an easy one. Bishop takes on e5, and black would be simply winning then. White would be simply winning then. King to h8 is played, and here black creates a threat of going bishop to h6 and pinning the queen. Here the computer shows a line that if white makes the mistake of playing a move like a3, it's not gonna be completely losing, because still white can gain this queen, but white wouldn't want to be a piece down. Let me show you the line. Bishop to h6, f4, bishop takes f4, queen takes f4, pawn takes f4, bishop takes f6, and knight takes f6. After all this, the queens are off the board and black is the piece up, so this would be completely better for white. In the game, after king to h1, f4 was played, stopping bishop to h6, and now queen to b6, asking for a trade of the queens. It's obvious that if white trade queens, black is gonna be better because then the attack would be subdued. But Judit Polgar cleverly plays queen to g3, and now Anand brings back his queen to h6 to defend the mate threat on g7. Here a very teasing move was played by Judit Polgar, rook to d6. Why I call this teasing is because you can't take the rook, otherwise you would have to face with the mate threat on g7. Here f6 is played and just bishop to d2, putting support to the f4 pawn. e4 is played in the game so that white can't take on e5, and now bishop to c4, activating the bishop. b5 is played and now bishop to e6, further advancing the activity of the white pieces. And now in this position, rook to a7 is played, which was the first mistake of the game by Viswanathan Anand. It was not the first mistake, but still it was that mistake which gave up the sudden advantage to white. And now this rook, as we will see, had become a center of attack for the white pieces, and as white attacked it, he also developed his pieces on good squares. Here rook to c6 is played and now a5. Bishop to e3, rook to b7 and bishop to d5. As you can see, for the past two moves, white has been activating his pieces and attacking black's rook. Here the threat is rook takes on c8, rook takes on c8, and then bishop takes on b7, and white would gain back his piece. Here rook to b8 is played and now rook to c7. There is a threat of bishop to a7 which traps this rook, and b5 trying to produce space for the pawn on the b5 square. b3 is played, blockading the pawn so that it can't go any further and create any attack on the white on the king side. Rook to b5 is played and now bishop to c6, forking the two pieces. Rook takes f5, rook takes c8, rook takes c8, and bishop takes on d7. Here black's both the rooks are forked, and after rook c to c5, Polgar played bishop takes on f5, rook takes on f5. Here the material is even, but still this position is completely winning for white, and black has no chance to defend it just because of the king's safety and the activity of the white pieces. In this whole game, I have been talking about the activity of the white pieces because it's such kind of a game where there is an attacking game, nobody counts the pieces, the activity is enough to win the game or lose the game. Rook to d1 is played. Here the threat is to enter through the back rank and make the black king. King to g8 is played, stopping that, and final move of the game from Judit Polgar, queen to g2, attacking the e4 pawn. And here it was in this position that Viswanathan Anand resigned the game because the rook to d8 check is incoming, and after king to f7, queen takes on e4, and there's gonna be serious mating threats. Therefore, in this position, Anand resigned the game, and there came an end to a brilliant game played by Judit Polgar. So friends, I hope that you liked this game, and if you did, do like the video and don't forget to subscribe to Master Chess. Thank you.